Hi students, this is your Brito. Today I would like to teach you an English grammar tense. Tense is the most basic grammar in English grammar. If you understand this deeper, and then other grammar will be pretty easy to understand and to learn, and this will help you a lot to speak also. So my dear students, let's study this grammar today. You can apply this grammar for your spoken English skill also. Tenses is a word which basically derived from a Latin word tensus, which means time. Any action that you do must be related with the time. There can't be any action without related to time. There can't be any expression we can make without the time factor. Every sentence that we speak must be connected with the time. Time and action both are interrelated, both are integrated. One cannot survive without the other. There are three kinds of time: past, present, and future. Each contains four different subtenses. So altogether we have 12 tenses in English. Simple present tense, present continuous tense, present perfect tense, present perfect continuous tense, simple past tense, past continuous tense, past perfect tense, past perfect continuous tense, simple future, future continuous, future perfect continuous tense. These are the 12 tenses without which we cannot learn English, without which we cannot study grammar. So my dear students, I invite you to learn the basic grammar tense, and you can develop your English skill, grammatical skill, spoken English skill. Okay, here we go. Let's get into it. The first tense is simple present tense. It indicates an action that is generally true or habitual or regular one. That is, it took place in the past, continue to take place in the present, and will take place in the future. This tense is used to denote habitual action. For instance, he walks to school. He gets up at 6 o'clock in the morning. He goes to school on foot. If you look upon these sentences, you can understand that these actions are taking place regularly every day. When things are regular and habitual, then you have to make sentence in simple present tense. Don't forget. If your actions are regular, habitual, then you have to make sentences in simple present tense. General truths, for instance, the sun rises in the east. Science factors. Proverbs, you cannot change the tense form of that sentences. The sun rises in the east. Scientific factors. The sun rises in the east, the sun sets in the west. You cannot change the form of these sentences because it's a scientific factor. Proverbs, you cannot change the form of a proverb. Honesty is the best policy. Can you say honesty was the best policy? Yes, it was the best policy once upon a time, but not now, isn't it? Can you say like that? No. Honesty is always the best policy, even if we don't follow it. That is part of a fixed timetable. For example, a fixed timetable will be there, which can be put in the present form. Fixed timetable. You may be doing it later, but once the action is fixed, when the meeting is fixed, when the time is fixed, those kinds of expressions have to be written down and spoken in simple present tense. For example, he leaves for Chennai tonight. He leaves for Chennai tonight. But this is not a night time now. We have 8 more hours to go for night, but we make the sentence in simple present to mean a thing in future because the time is fixed. That's why we make the sentence in simple present form. Okay. We shall move to the other tense. Present continuous tense. It indicates an action that is taking place at a moment of speaking. For example, she is dancing. What is she doing? She is dancing. She is dancing now. This is the adverb we most of the time use in the continuous form and present. She is dancing. I am studying. I am watching movie. I'm playing cricket. I'm doing my homework. What are you doing? I'm attending online class. I'm working out. So these sentences are in continuous form. Verb plus ing. Using present auxiliary verbs like is, am, or. That's why we call it present continuous tense. The present is involved here. The time is involved in the action. We are living in a modern era. We are learning new things today. See, everything, the action is in the process at the moment taking place. Continuous tense. Here the time is a short span. Short span of time is used to do a work, an action. We use just a simple thing. Present continuous tense means an action done in a certain time when the action is in the process. Only a short period of time is used to do an action. While I was studying in the school, there came a cricketer, Sachin Tendulkar, to visit our school. While I was playing, I met a man called Shahid Kapoor, like that, doing an action at a particular point of time, short point of time. That is what the present continuous tense all about. The next one is present perfect tense. It indicates an action that has been completed sometime before the present moment with the result that affects the present situation. You may have the result in the present, but the action would have taken place in the past, one point of time in the past. Jana has applied for NEET exam. Actually, he applied for NEET exam yesterday. But today, the action is revealed to the others. It is informed to others that Jana has applied for NEET exam. The action took place at one point of time in the past. The result we get in the present. That is why we call it present perfect tense. Bharani Karthik has visited Mahabalipuram. He visited Mahabalipuram many times. But he did not visit today, or he is not going to visit today. He visited Mahabalipuram a long back. But we get the results in the present. I have tasted pizza. I tasted it long ago, but I feel it now. I share about it now. So I have tasted pizza, present perfect. Perfect tense. The form of present perfect tense is has or have plus verb. Verb will be in V3 form, past participle form. What is the past participle form of go? Gone. What is the past participle form of eat? Eaten. What is the past participle form of walk? Walked. The form may change. The third form may change according to the kinds of verb, whether it is regular or irregular, transitive or intransitive. The third form of the verb may change most of the time. That means the past participle may change. So let's move to the next tense. Present perfect continuous tense. When I was explaining the continuous tense, present continuous tense, I told you the action takes place in the action takes place in a moment, and it is in progress for a short period of time. But here the time factor is a long period of time. The long period of time could be more than an hour, more than half a day, more than a day, more than a week, months, year. Short span of the time is present continuous tense. Long span of time is present perfect continuous tense. Both perfect form and continuous form together put into one tense, which is called present perfect continuous tense. Messi has been sleeping for more than an hour. He has been sleeping more than an hour. The time is longer duration. When an action takes place in a longer duration, that action has to be put into this tense, present perfect continuous tense, perfect continuous form. The form of this tense is has or have plus been. We must use been because It's perfect continuous form. We use has or have because it's perfect form. We use the action verb in the ing form because this is continuous sentence. I hope you understand. Okay, let's move to the other tense. Simple past tense. It indicates an action took place before the present. That means in the past. That has no real connection with the present. That has nothing to do with the present. For example, he danced in the function. What did he do? He danced. Where did he dance? He danced in the function. Who danced in the function? He danced in the function. See, the sentence is he danced in the function. So the reality has nothing to do with the present because the action takes place in the past. Completely unrelated to the present. He flew to London yesterday. He flew to London yesterday in the aeroplane. You can see the picture of the aeroplane. He flew to London. When did he fly to London? Yesterday. Adjunct. He flew to London yesterday. Who flew to London? He. What did he do? Flew. Where did he fly to London? When? Yesterday. Flew is an irregular verb, as I told you before. Irregular verb. When we add ed in the past and past participle, those kinds of verbs are called regular because there is no change in the form of the verb in past or past participle. But here, the form of verb changes when it is changed to past or to past participle. Flow, fly, flew, flow. The forms are changing, right? That's why we call it irregular verb, which does not take place ed, for the other form, to change the form of the verb. The form of simple past tense is verb plus ed for regular verb. For irregular verb, the total form of the verb may change. For example, the past form of go, went, the past form of eat, ate, and so on. You can refer the dictionary for more regular verbs. Or otherwise, I shall give the list of the verbs in the next video. Okay, let's move to the next one. Past continuous tense. It indicates an action going on at some time in the past, or an action in the past that is in a duration than another action in the past. For example, it was getting darker. See, the action is in the process, but at the past. It was getting darker. When? After 6 o'clock in the evening, yesterday. The light went out while they were reading. See, while they were reading. The action was in the process at a moment. They were reading. While they were reading, the light went out. The past form of go is went. See, the form has changed because it's an irregular verb. The light went out. He locked the door. He knocked at the door. I started to learn. See, the action in the past. So the verb form is was or were plus verb plus ing. Was if the subject is singular, we use where when the subject is plural, or in the other words, when the subject is in the first person plural, when we use we, the verb form is where. When we use they, third person plural form of subject, we use where to the past. When the subject is singular like I, he, she, it, we use was as the be verb in the sentences. Okay, let's move to the next one now. Past perfect tense, the seventh tense, which indicates an action in the past that had been completed before another time or event in the past. Action took place at one point of time in the past, and later the result comes in the next. But both the actions take place in the past only. That's why the sentence is constructed in past perfect tense. He had departed before it started to rain. He had departed. When had he departed? He had departed before. When? Before it started to rain. That means he departed before the rain started. He departed yesterday by 10 o'clock. It started to rain after 10:30 yesterday. Both the actions took place yesterday, so the actions took place in the yesterday itself. The result also came in the yesterday itself. Yesterday itself. So these sort of expressions could be constructed in this tense, past perfect tense. Had plus verb, V3 form of the verb, past participle, is used here for this sentence. Next one, past perfect continuous tense. Long span of time is used here for an action, but not in the present, in the past. Indicates an action in the past that took place before or event in the past, continued during the second event or time point in the past. He had been running a shop in Chennai 10 years ago. He had been running a shop in Chennai 10 years ago. But where is the shop now? No more shops now. No more shop now. He closed it and he came to his native place. So he was running his shop once upon a time. He was running the shop more than 10 years, a long span of time. So he uses not past continuous tense, he uses past perfect continuous. He had been running a shop. He had been writing a novel because it took at least 2 months to 6 months to write a novel. He had been exercising. He had been doing exercise, right, from morning till evening. So long span of time. In this form, had plus been, verb plus ing form is used. Okay, let's go to the next tense, simple future tense. It indicates an action that will take place after the present time. Once the present is gone, that is future. That has no real connection with the present time. For example, she will visit her ailing grandmother. When will she visit her ailing grandmother? Maybe of some time tomorrow, next week, day after tomorrow, or in the next month. The time is not in the present. She will visit her. The time decides this sentence. Future. He will attend the party. When will he attend the party? He will attend the party tomorrow, or day after tomorrow, or at fortnight, or at any time in the future. When we make the sentence in simple future, the sentence will take surely, will take place surely and willingly. Out of interest, he says that. I will visit my brother who is in Chennai. I will visit. I show my desire. I show my involvement. I show, a kind of, certainty in the action. I will. She will. I will not speak with you. I will not talk to you. Certainty. Surely I will not talk to you. See, there is a kind of anxiety. There's a kind of anger in the expression. I will not speak with you. I will not see you anymore. See, will not when it is made in negative form. Subject plus will or shall, modal verb plus verb in V1 form, verb 1 form. I will go. She will come. They will teach. We will study. All will learn. See, all sort of sentences will be in future form. Both could be used, will or shall. Will is used generally in all types of sentences. Shall is used only in the first person singular and the first person plural I or we. Normally we don't use shall most of the time. When our idea or our desire is optional, we use shall. I shall do it. I shall help you. Because the choice depends upon the listener. If he wills, if he loves, he can say yes. So I shall do it. I shall help you. There is no certainty, conformity. When the listener says okay, the action will take place. So there is a choice. Shall. Okay. Next one, future continuous tense. It indicates an action in the future that is longer in duration than another action in the future. Rubika will be shopping at that market tomorrow. It's a pick it up, shopping. She will be shopping at the market. I will be going. The action is in the process in future at a point of time. In progress also. I will be distributing stationery things to my students when they come to school after reopen. I will be distributing, I will be helping them, I will be sharing my experiences with them. See, the action will be taking place in the future, but the future is not certain. Subject plus will or shall, modal verbs, along with be, because we don't have be verbs in the future, so we use be, plus verb plus ing, because this is continuous form, we use ing. Okay, let's move to the next one, future perfect tense. Most of the time, it reveals an imagination, not taking place in reality, only in the imagination. It indicates an action in the future that will have been completed before another time or into the future. By the time we arrive, he will have studied, he will have gone, he will have understood. See? The things are not sure. He will have studied. Just we imagine that he would have studied. parents might think that their son will have studied, will have done his homework, but they are not sure because things are not sure. They did not see the fact, they did not see the action in reality. So when a thing is imaginary, we use future perfect tense. I would have gone, you came and spoiled my time, you ate my time, you called me for another work, I came with you, but this is just a waste of time. I would have gone there, I would have attended that party, I would have joined the online class, but he did not enter the class. That's a fact. Future perfect. Subject plus will or shall plus have, because this is perfect form, right? After will or shall we should use only have, not has or had. Have plus verb in third form, past participle form. Let's move to the lost tense, future perfect continuous tense. It indicates an action in the future that will have been continuing. It will have been continuing. I think it will have been continuing. I'm not sure. The time has to permit that. He will have been hosting the show by next year. Priyanka will have been hosting the show next year in Vijay TV Super Singer show. Makappa Anand will be hosting the show. No idea. Sometimes someone else someone else may come to host the show. We think and expect that particular person will have been hosting because we know only those people. No idea. It could be someone else in the next time when a show is being hosted. So future perfect continuous. The action we expect to have been taking place in the future, it depends upon that particular time. We have no idea about it and we are not sure about it. We have nothing to do with that future. So future perfect continuous tense. I will have living in USA along with my family after 2025. I have a plan of going to USA and settle there with my family. But what will happen in 2025? No idea about it. Only God knows it if He is. That's all about the tenses. Once you understood this, then all the other things will be pretty easy for you to understand, and you can imbibe so many things one over the other, and you can learn English easily, you can speak English easily, and I wish you all the very best. Learn it, use it, apply it for your grammatical skill and for your spoken skill also. Thanking. That's all here. The Brito is signing up the studio. Thank you so much.